right, we're back and we are here to talk about Tango Maestros or Maestros. Is Maestros? Maestros.
Yeah, you're the one who knows Spanish. I don't know
know.
Spanish.
Like Brian was like Maestros like all the time. So
Well, he's also the one who says, who brought over the, you won the mate package.
what?
Remember I said mate?
Oh,
We're like, mate. So no, like I don't trust Brian's pronunciation. Like I would rather take your. You actually know Spanish. I don't.
Tango Maestros or Tango Maestros.
I say Tango Maestro.
Either way. So there's a lot that goes on and being a Tango Maestro, especially at festivals and marathons. They get asked to perform. They get asked to teach workshops, teach private lessons, maybe even sell some of their clothing or stuff like that. Charlas, have conversations during the festival with guests. So it's a lot, right? Of course, they get well compensated.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think at some of these larger festivals.
Oh, yeah, the festivals they do.
I'm pretty sure they probably make minimum 10,000.
That's hard to say because you also have to think about the lawyer fees to actually get the visas. You also think the actual visas itself. Is travel included with that or not?
Usually, yeah, that's compensated.
Well, it's compensated for like maybe from Boston to LA, but not necessarily from
Argentina.
Yeah, so it depends. I don't get me wrong. I think they are compensated well, based on their ability, based on their reputation, but I don't think it's as high as you think it is because I think there's a lot of overhead when we talk about this, and no one talks about overhead.
That's true. Well, it's interesting because we're both giving to that like point in of our tango journey, 12 plus years, where I remember Brian and some other people, right? They were like, oh, you should get over that tango idol thing. Like you should, like they're just people, they're just regular dancers. They learn tango just like you did, right? Don't be putting them up on this super big pedestal. And so I don't know if I'm completely to that far of the route, but I definitely have put them more on just like, they are just regular people. I am a big fan of many of these talented artists. I just have not gotten to the point where I can go to a festival and ask a performing maestro to dance. I'm just not there in my tango. And many people have told me I should. And many of the maestros said, how come you don't ask me to dance? Because you're sitting at the maestro table.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing. Like, I mean, for me, I've asked a few maestros to dance. I've danced with Kijimina Kuroga.
At a festival where they're performing.
So that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've danced with many like maestros, but I'm talking about like at a festival where they're performing, where they've taught workshops.
Well, again, it's like it's based on the vibe. Sometimes they're huddled in together. Like at SoCal, they're kind of huddled in together.
Right.
And also there's a rule. Like I think the organizers put out a rule saying like, hey, you should not be asking the maestros to dance because they're working and everything. Like let them ask you.
Really? I know there was that rule for like the judging, right? Because they're judging some competitors, and we're talking about a competition in a festival. Yes, but I'm just talking about your average regular festival that has teachers that perform and teach.
Okay, well I was talking about SoCal, so there was judging involved there.
Yeah.
But I also think that sometimes it's hard to break through when they're in deep conversations with other maestros. To me, it's not the maestro thing that is blocking me. Mm-hmm. It's that they're in deep conversations with other people. Like I don't break conversations. That's in general. I don't like breaking conversations.
I'm the same way.
If they're talking and they're like, but they're keeping one eye open, that's a different story. But if they're like, hey, we're talking. It's like, no, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I do that to I don't do that to anybody, even at Malongas or any person. I just think that's rude. Like they're having an intimate conversation. I'm not gonna budge in like, let's dance. It's just like, no.
Yeah. So I think that's like the first barrier. The other thing is also, I think sometimes like there's also this entitlement expectation that we're trying not to be like. We're not trying to be entitled, like, hey, you owe us a dance because we took so many workshops from you.
Well, some people are like that.
I know.
They expect that.
I know.
I took lessons. I took privates. Hey, can you dance with me?
I know. And you know what? Like, there are some teachers who are very gracious and do so.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an expectation we should have. And sometimes when I see that, I get grossed out because I'm just like, dude, like, she doesn't want to dance with you, or he doesn't want to dance with you. Like you can see it. You can see in their eyes. It's like, here it comes.
Well, here's the thing. It's like if you are a professional dancer and your career is your body, I would be very hesitant to put my body on the line, especially with somebody that I don't fully trust that their professional body's on the line as well.
Yeah, there's that.
And so that's why when you see the maestro table, they usually just, the instructors dance with each other, right? Because they have the same risk involved.
Yeah. Or they dance with, and they might take a risk on like maybe the local teachers.
Right.
Because it's like, hey, I've seen you dance. I could deal with that. But even still, it's like, even with professional dancers, I mean, you're still going out in a festival. Navigation is still going to be an issue, regardless of how good you are. I mean, all it takes is one unlucky break.
Yeah, that's not even your fault. You could be standing still and get chopped from behind. Like I've gotten many times. So yeah, definitely.
So there is risk involved, and also I think, but I play the same rule as like being a not so good, the same rule of not so good dancers.
What do you mean?
Meaning that I'm not going to ask the maestro to dance at like, let's say at prime time at 11 p.m. midnight.
Oh no, right? It's way too crowded.
No. See, I'm going to wait till the wee hours.
2 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 3:30 in the morning, when it's like, okay, you know what? The floor is cleared.
Open space.
Yeah, they want to dance, right? You can kind of see they want to dance, but there's not enough guys around, and I'm just a lucky guy just around the corner. I think because you see it out like at regular milongas, like there are ladies who will never get a dance, who will never get a dance. Like I'm not saying they'll never get a dance, but they'll never get a dance with, let's say, like someone on the upper tier,
right?
Like and
super pro.
Yeah, and then they wait it out.
And there you go, magic strikes.
I know. It's like, all that like 3-hour wait of not dancing one tanda is worth it because I got to dance with so-and-so pro. I play the same, I play the same game,
Interesting.
I mean, I understand that there are people too, but also at the same time, like a lot of it is, I think I want to wait to see that they are open and available. And when they are open and available, it's going to be in the wee hours of the night if they're not dancing with their own partners already.
I mean, kudos to you. My cabaseo needs some work, especially with the like super pros and maestros, because even when I feel like are they cabaseoing me? I'm like, I have that look where like, me? You want to dance with me? Like, even though like I've been dancing for a while, I'm like, I have some acclaim too. Like, yeah. And so it's still something in me that's just like I don't know. I just got to work that out of my head. Yeah,
and like, it's just one of those things where like, you see someone has a title like maestro,
Yeah.
that are like in your mind that just puts them like leagues above. It's like might as well call someone God,
Jeez.
No, seriously, because we joke about it. It's like, us mortals can't even do that in Ruski that you do, So in a sense, like we elevate them to that level because of the title. It's almost like it's not even about the person anymore; it's the title.
It's the mythical thing.
The
intrigue.
Yeah, and I think once you get over that, I mean, of course, like I have a pecking order of things of like what's within my reach. I'm gonna start with, let's say, I'll go to a festival, maybe dance with like the local teacher who's teaching and performing at the festival first before I go for the maestro. So
they see you dancing with the local teacher and they go, oh, okay, I know that local teacher, and then that guy must be good.
Yeah, like I mean, just like the same thing. Just like if I go to a place where no one knows me, I go backwards in age. I could start with the oldest lady and work my way up. So sometimes like I feel like I need to prove myself before getting there. I don't go straight to them.
So do you think that the maestros should dance more at the festivals, or is it up to the public to ask more or be willing to dance more with maestros?
I think it's a little of both, right? But part of it is marketability.
Yeah.
There are a lot of maestros who dance with the public because they are working that popularity. They might not be like a Mundial champion. They're gonna ride that title. It's like there's many ways for them to kind of work the business per se. Mm-hmm. There are like Tomas and Jimena. They're great teachers here. Mm-hmm. Coming from Argentina, I believe they're finalists in Mundial. Mm-hmm. And every time they travel around, they're dancing with everybody.
Sure.
But that's their thing. They're like, hey, we're people just like you too.
Sure.
So, but then there are other people who are like, hey, respect the title. And there's a bit of majesty in that also.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what type of person you are and what kind of game you play, and also the expectations between the maestros, the organizers, and the crowd. I don't think the crowd should be expecting anything, and I think the maestro should only give as much as they're willing to give, and that agreement between the employer, the organizer, and them is between them, and that's something that should always be that expectation should always be talked about, because if there's an expectation like, hey, you need to be on the floor dancing with people, even though you've taught like 12 hours of workshops, did like 7 numbers on the performance, and right after I want you to dance with like 20 people. I mean,
especially at SoCal, because they also judge that whole entire time too. So it's like the judging, the classes, the privates,
But I'm just saying, like, see, if I was a maestro and someone said this is your expectations, I would not take that job.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
even if they paid more, they probably pay a pretty good amount.
Okay, well,
especially for a festival that only has like 3 couples.
Yeah.
Now we see festivals with like 20 couples.
Okay.
Like, I wonder what the pay is for that.
Yeah.
Like there was one in Istanbul recently. Yeah. It's like 20 couples and like 2-3 bands.
Well, Kavita's gotten like 7 couples now instead of like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it is nice, but I wonder, jeez.
Yeah. But I think a lot of that money comes from it goes towards the expense of the visas and stuff. I mean, that's a huge expense. I mean, but still, going back to the expectations, it's like sometimes it's just not worth it. I mean, if you're gonna get run to the ground and then you need like a week to recover because your risk, like the amount of risk that's out there.
Yeah.
It just might not be worth it. I mean. There are people who get paid big bucks to drill oil on the rigs out there. There are people who get paid big bucks to put on roofs on homes. Working in a nuclear power plant, like cleaning out like the radioactive material. They get paid a lot of money, but
is it worth it in the end? Is it worth your health?
Yeah, and
that's the thing. When I try to I can't get over the fact in the prime time, I think I've had some maestros try to cabeceo me, and I'm just like, I'm nervous. I don't want to go out there. Not because I don't want to dance with you, because I don't want to go out there and, I don't know, you get healed by somebody else, or
you know what?
I would just be so nervous.
Next time I'm going to be right behind you, and I'm going to intercept. Be like, thanks, Derek! Woo!
The intercepted cabeceo?
Yeah.
I've had some bad ones like that. I've had some horrible ones.
Yeah, I know.
Or just like, is it me? And then I walk forward, and then it's like, no. They go, no. That person behind. I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm out of here.
Yeah. But going back to what we were saying, the maestros got to do what's best for them. The organizers got to do what's best for them. And let the market, play out, If the organizer doesn't want them back because, they're a little too tight on what they're willing to do, then sure, don't go back. It's probably not worth it for that maestro either. I don't think we should have any expectation on the maestro besides, what they signed up for, which is
teaching well, performing well,
and that's it. Anything beyond that is just cherry on the cake.
I see, but I guess maybe those other maestros that do dance with regular dancers, maybe they get more credit.
They get more credit, and they get around more, and they get a lot more business. But see, I think that's the thing. It's like, Tomas may not live here. So that game plays a little different.
Right.
If you have a maestro who's only here for a weekend, and then they're going to fly out to Spain and teach again, and they're going to fly out to another place and teach again, it's like you're risking your whole tour for that one time. Exactly. It's like
one sprained ankle. And
what are they going to do? Are you going to get paid for it? No. This is all at will service here, So they all have to do the risk analysis. And, I have no problems with anyone saying no. I mean, we tell everyone, hey, take the rejections on the chin, give the rejections if you need it. I think the same applies here. If a maestro rejects me, not a big deal.
But I'll remember. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you can, please click that notification bell so you can get all the updates from our channel. It will go a long way to help us support the video and content we want to create for all of you. And we want to keep making better content. So yes, click that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.